to another great day in
LA.
Okay.
Today, we will be talking about helicopter parents. Who knew that overprotective parents actually had a technical name?
Wow.
You do?
Yeah.
You know it. While you think that you're protecting your children, you really might be doing them more harm than good. Stay tuned, and we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of helicopter parenting. And I'm also going to introduce you to our new host, Miss Elizabeth Rez.
Hey.
And you'll get to meet our guest, Mr. Jason Lee.
Hey.
Drink up, guys. It's going to be fun. Let's sit down and talk about it.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
Welcome back. We are talking about overprotective parenting, aka helicopter parents. Now, it's every parent's job to protect their child, right? But the outside world, you might be doing more harm than good to your child.
Did you hear that?
That's right. I'm looking at her because Alicia is an overprotective parent. But before we let you guys chime in, I just have to introduce Miss Elizabeth.
Hey, everybody.
And I want to introduce Mr. Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, the founder.
Yeah, I'm a founder of something.
So, are you a parent?
No, I need to be.
Okay, well, Alicia, I know me and you done had this conversation a lot.
Right.
Overprotective parenting.
Right.
Did you know we might be hurting our babies?
Well, I knew I was an overprotective parent.
Well, I found out that studies show that being too overprotective, we might be killing our children's self-esteem, their confidence, and we might be stopping them from learning how to make their own decisions.
Yeah, by me being an overprotective parent, I sometimes feel like it's hard for my kids to socialize because I shelter them. So yeah, I can.
You see that? That's why you had the conversation with me. I want to homeschool my daughter, and Alicia is like, "Are you sure you want to homeschool her? Because if you homeschool her, she's not going to get that interactive."
I don't know. My mom was overprotective and I turned out okay, except for I turned out, you know.
Yeah, so that's a crisis. We need to,
I mean, I don't know, because while I was growing up, like, my parents had a stage where they were overprotective of me, and that's when I was like sneaking out of my house. So
they needed to be.
No, because they were being overprotective, so I was sneaking out late at night. So after that, like once they kind of like let me just, you know, be myself, that's when I was like more open with them and telling them like what was going on with school and boys.
And how old were you?
I was in high school and middle school.
Okay,
it's
so
like 8th grade to senior year.
That's another thing they said. You have to find that fine line when it's okay and when it's not. Like, it's cool to make your 6-year-old a snack, but you can't make your 16-year-old snacks after school.
Right.
And I thought when you guys were talking about helicopter parents, I was thinking of my dad promised me a helicopter when I was a kid, and he never got it. I ended up in group home, so y'all can continue. I wasn't there.
Really?
This is what I can say. I was in foster care, so this is what I can say in regards to being an overprotective parent. I was on my own, and you guys know my story since I was 14. So I have a 14-year-old, and she doesn't live the life I lived at her age. So for me, I just want to protect them from the world because I know the cruelties of the world. So I am overprotective. I don't let them spend a night out at people's house. I need to know their friends, parents. You know, it's just certain things I need to know because number one, I was a young mother. I have my kids young and I have 4 kids. Sometimes it's good to shelter them, but I understand what Cherry is saying. Sometimes you can harm them if you shelter them too much.
Yeah, I think I mean the world right now has changed since we were kids. Like, you have social media, you have so many other influences, and I think, for me at least, if when I was raising my brother, I wasn't overprotective. I actually exposed him to a lot of things.
So you raised your brother, so you had a kid.
But he's grown now. He's like 23, and he's out there in the world. He's in the world and of the world, because he explored where he wanted to go in life. And I mean, I think, you know, as for me as a kid, I although I was sheltered in foster care, I still had a lot of interest, and I was very inquisitive about what the world was about. So kids are going to figure it out. I think you gotta guide them and be an example. So.
And see, then for me, my mom was very overprotective with me. I'm the oldest of 6, but she wasn't with my other brothers, and there's 3 of them. And I turned out, you know, successful and not a statistic of St. Louis being in jail or incarcerated. And they all fell victim to that. So I feel like for me, it kind of worked.
So do you feel like when your mom was being overprotective of you and then you were out in the world on your own, did you feel kind of like it was more difficult, whereas instead of her being overprotective, it wouldn't have been as hard?
No, I feel like the world had the same restraints on me that my mom did. Like the world was hard and cold, so I adjusted to it because my mom had so much pressure on me. It made me adaptable to change. I became resilient. I became really strong. So it was like I became impeccable. So I thank my mom for being a very strict parent for me because it got me where I am now.
But you're also a Leo too.
Oh, you already know.
Leo, I'm just saying, you know, Leo, we can go out into the wild on our own.
Yes, we roll.
We can figure it out. Now, if you was a Pisces, you'd probably be on crack.
One thing about me being an overprotective parent, and we was talking about this, is I tend to fight my kids' battles. So like being overprotective, sometimes I'm overprotective when it comes to other kids. And I end up getting...
We're gonna keep talking about overprotective parenting, but when we come back, you're gonna get to talk to Elizabeth, and she's gonna give us a little bit of, hey girlfriend,
Hey.
Ready for that.
dear girlfriend.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
We're trouble.
I'm sorry, when we went to break, I cut Alicia off. I want her to finish her point.
My point, I mean, basically, I was just saying, sometimes being an overprotective parent, I fight my kids' battles, and that right there is a problem. And that's when I know, like, okay, I have to kind of let them go out in the world, you know. For instance, my daughter, she had an altercation at school. To me being overprotective, I got banned from her school because but honestly, because
you trying to whoop that girl.
yeah, I did though, and I was so mad, and I had to come back and recollect myself. Like, okay, I'm an adult, I'm a mother, I can't be up at school fighting 14-year-olds, and it was bad, you know. And they had like 4 police squad cars. It was really bad.
She always brings out the law.
No, but listen, but I'm saying that comes from a parent wanting to protect their child by any means necessary. And I had to step back and look at that situation and say, okay, Alicia, maybe you really overreacted, because I could have handled it in a more mature level, but I was so upset just wanting to protect my child where I let my emotions get the best of me.
My mom did the same thing, but in our neighborhood, I grew up in a very rough neighborhood in St. Louis, and they were just so bullies us. And even the parents, my mama told me one day, if the parent don't respect you, don't respect them. And at that point, boy, the cuss words will flow from my mouth and the disrespect.
See, I don't allow, but I don't allow my kids to disrespect authority.
But you didn't grow up in St. Louis in the middle of Kuwait.
I didn't grow up in St. Louis, but I grew up on Crenshaw and Slauson in South Central Los Angeles. And at the end of the day, if you don't teach your children to respect authority, they'll have a problem later on in life respecting authority that can actually mess up their life.
See, I grew up in Stockton, and when the kids fought, if one kid got beat up, the parent of that kid came and beat up the parent of the other kid. So there were other collateral damage.
Those are parents, and that's what I'm saying. When I come, I'm coming for the kids, the mom, the dad, the dog, the cousin.
See, you was my mom.
You're gonna be on probation.
I know, but
She was. She was.
yeah.
I hate to cut this short, but Mr. Anthony Cherry, ain't you got some shade or no shade?
Shade or no shade. I mean, and I pay homage to you for that, for even being a mom, because my shade or no shade trickles down to abortions.
Oh.
You know, I feel like, for me, I feel like abortions is definitely shade, because God said in the Bible, be fruitful and multiply.
There you go with the Bible.
Now, if you were a victim of rape, I could get that. But what were you doing to put yourself in a situation? Were you wearing booty shorts? Were you thotting it? You know, those type of things.
It's not a woman's fault if she gets raped.
Thank you.
Sometimes, though, Jason.
I think
No, because I know hot, fast girls that will flaunt around with little
But
bitty
that
shorts.
doesn't give a man a
that
right
doesn't give them the
rape
right.
a woman
But rape
because
is-
she's
And
wearing
women out there, I'm
shorts.
sorry, that was wrong.
Rape is not about sex. It's about violence. So if if a man like Darren Sharp,
No, it's
sexy,
no.
money, successful,
I
rape
would
all them
have
women.
so dated him.
Okay,
I would've dated
But how about this? Do you guys know that in America, Planned Parenthood, over 18,000 black babies and mothers lose their lives every year to abortions?
But that's because Planned Parenthood was funded primarily in inner city communities because we don't have access to health care like more
Right.
mainstream families, people that have, health care.
They're in walking distance.
Yeah,
and it was funded by the Democrats.
I just still feel like.
Hold up, it's for as genocide. That's what Planned
But
Parenthood
you
was
are
about.
a man. You cannot speak on what a woman chooses to do with her body. That's impossible.
But you know what? Okay, say for instance because you should have been taking the necessary
But you
precautions not to
can't
do
say
that.
That's not your decision.
I think
That's not my that's not my decision, but morally, if you laid down and you did that, why would you want to kill a baby?
So wait,
and
are
then
you
only to have another one months later or 7 months later.
In a situation where you're molested or raped,
I get it.
You know, it's one thing.
I get it.
I think that if you're just out at, Playhouse every Saturday night having sex with every random person, getting pregnant, and then, doing whatever, I think there's preventative measures like
It is.
What's the pill called? The next day.
Plan B.
The Plan B.
But then
Morning after pill.
Okay, but listen. Okay, listen. Now, hold up. Now,
Johnson taking an after.
I sure
Jason,
did.
my whole point of this was getting to the shade was because the government has put it in our minds that this is a form of genocide. That's the shade.
Let me
And
ask-
they can hold up. They condition you. I haven't got a chance to say anything. They condition you to believe that you should not have that baby because of the mindset that they've put on us to be able to not be able to have functional families.
So let me give you this example for me then. I've dealt with Planned Parenthood, and I don't put my business out there, but I will because I know it'll help other women. I was married, okay? Married with kids, did everything the right way. I was cheated on and I was left. And I was pregnant with my fifth, I don't want to start crying. I was pregnant with my 5th child. And I had to go. And you can't just say that because you don't know what a woman's situation is. And with Planned Parenthood, I was in a hospital because it went wrong. I had to get 7 blood transfusions and I almost died.
And you want to know why? And
But
I'm not saying I don't have
let me
empathy
finish
for
this.
that.
But wait, and I almost died. And it was a situation that I was in. And for you to sit up there and judge women like that.
I'm not judging, I'm only
you don't-
identifying.
But still, you don't know what a woman has went through in order to not be able to keep that baby. You don't know emotionally what a woman's went through. You don't know physically what a woman's went through. A man cannot tell a woman what to do with their body. That is their right. And that is their
I'm not
choice.
being insensitive.
Bottom
I'm not
line.
being insensitive to how
Like,
you
bottom
feel.
line.
How you feel.
I want to get
Bottom
this
line.
clear. Is shade or no shade about the genocide, or are we talking about the pro?
We're talking about the
yeah,
genocide
like,
of
are
it.
we
I'm talking about
saying
the
that
genocide of
Can I
it.
just say one thing? Okay, first of all, I'm sorry that you went through that.
Yeah,
And a lot
that's
of-
very
and a lot of women-
emotional when you talk about that.
And a lot of women go through that. And I think, I was just recently on a panel where they were talking about the effects of love in hip hop, and they didn't know I was in the room, but they were blaming the culture, the women having a lot of babies and this and that on the reality culture. Women have the right to choose. You have the right
Yes.
to choose to lay down.
Yes.
You have the right to
Agree.
choose to get
Right.
pregnant.
Right.
You should have the right to choose to not have the baby if you're not in a position to care for that child.
But then what about the women that constantly go back and back? I know people in my life that constantly go back and back and get abortion to the point to where now they want to have babies, but they can't. I talked to a lady a couple of weeks ago that told me about Planned Parenthood. She told me at 14 she went to Planned Parenthood and she is sterile. And she did not know until 20 years later. I'm talking about the shade or no shade
Okay,
of Planned Parenthood.
but what about the women that have kids and then they murder their kids because they couldn't take on the emotional responsibility of dealing
But that
with the
comes from
pressure
that,
of
and then
having
once
a
again,
child?
this comes from me being a conscious mind. This
you guys,
conversation.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
we got to go to commercial. We're going to keep this going through the commercial. Maybe we
Yeah.
Shade or no shade,
When we
it's
come
real.
back, though, we're going to come back with Miss Elizabeth Ruiz. Dear girl.
On a lighter note.
Kleenex. Make that.
Yes,
We
please.
need a
give
touch
me
up over here.
Please. That was so emotional. Why would you have that as your topic?
I'm controversial.
That was so
Tell a
awesome.
woman what to do.
I'm not telling a woman. I was talking about.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
Alicia, it's the point that I'm trying to make is about the genocide, what Planned Parenthood and what the Democrats, what the government has founded from the beginning of time to get rid of the existence of black people. They coerce you to make you think mentally because they have stimulated and got you conditioned to this behavior. Like, get rid of your kids. No, that's one part. What's the population of black people? We only make up, what, like 32% of the world, of the United States? That's what I made. Hold up. That's why I made my point saying Planned Parenthood kills more people than AIDS, black on black crime, cancer, or any other
But
thing
no one
in
is
the United
holding a
States.
gun to anyone's head to say,
You go
abort
into
your
Planned Parenthood
baby.
yourself to make your decision. Planned
Yeah.
Parenthood doesn't make the decision for you.
But at the end of the day, that shouldn't be something that you just naturally say, oh, I got pregnant, I'm gonna go kill the baby.
Are you
But wait,
Republican or Democrat?
it's not a baby.
But right now I'm floating. I might be Republican after I did the research on the Democrats because Democrats have enabled us. They have gave us welfare. They've gave us free. The Republicans want us to work and be self-sufficient and get out there and make it for yourself.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this as a Democrat and a far left liberal. Okay, black people barely have the right to vote in this country.
It's the head of a two-headed snake.
Can I just say my
Go ahead.
Okay. Black people have fought for their right to vote. Black people have fought for their right to sit at the table in a restaurant. Black people have had to sit in the back of buses, haven't been able to sit at the counters in restaurants. And so to say that Planned Parenthood is a conspiracy theory by the Democrats to target
Just
and
like
be a
FEMA.
genocide to black
I hate
people.
to cut this
Just
off,
like
but we
FEMA and the
gotta go to
concentration
commercial.
camps. Yes, it is.
Hey,
I'm conscious and I'm woke. America, wake up.
We are going to our own social media influencer, these clowns, Elizabeth Ruiz.
Thank you, Cherry. So this segment is called Dear Ladies. My question to you ladies is, do you feel all men cheat? I personally think every man has cheated, but it does depend on their social status and their financial status. What do you guys think?
No, babe, they could be a bomb from the scum. They still gonna cheat. I'm sorry.
I think that the reason why every man cheats is because there's just way too much going on in the world, too many options, and I feel like sometimes the partner just doesn't really keep shit alive. Like we gotta work together.
I don't think all men cheat. I don't.
All, you can never say all.
Yeah,
all men
it's
don't,
not
but
all.
majority of men do.
Majority, but not all.
Men
Yeah,
are
I agree with
designed
that.
to cheat. We are animals. We are always
Savages.
looking
I
for something
believe
to
that
get.
you can do anything and everything in the world to spice it up, role play,
Yeah.
this and that, and
Well,
he's still
women
gonna
cheat too. What do you mean?
True, it is on him.
It's on
There's
him.
nothing that a woman can do.
But women cheat too, so what are you saying? It's double standards here.
I have,
Have you?
I'll see,
have
drink
cheated.
up. Wow.
and I'm thankful.
And you know what? I'm not a cheater unless I feel like I'm being slighted.
You're a cheater.
See, but-
totally
You look like a cheater.
You are. I'm not a cheater.
But did
You been up under my bed?
Wait.
You're a cheater.
Have I called you and told you I cheat?
But did you hear?
You're lying.
But did you hear what he said? I only cheat if. See, that's the thing. We always got a reason why we do it, but the
Okay.
question is, do we all do it? And the answer, unfortunately, is
I
yes.
don't think
Yes.
every.
That means you.
if you
Are you
all
a cheater?
do it,
No.
what makes you cheat?
What makes me cheat?
Not getting it?
Nope. I always get it. I cheat because I love Dominicans and I love mixed breed. I'm in love
You're
with.
an interracial dater.
Yeah.
So you just see a person and you're
I
like,
think
damn,
it's
I want
temptation.
them.
Like
Well, let me-
social media nowadays, it's like you literally can shop around, add to cart, and fly them out. That's how it is.
Hold on. Hold on. I got a flight coming in tomorrow. Listen, I don't cheat. Let me back up because I forgot this is gonna go on TV. I'm not a cheater per se. So that
Clean it
everybody
up
out
now.
there,
Clean
yeah.
it up.
I would say that like if I'm in a real committed relationship and it's good and there's passion and all that, I'm not going to cheat. But once
Exactly.
it starts to fall off and I know I'm about to pack your
No,
stuff up and put you out, I'm probably gonna.
For me,
get
I
another
still
option.
hold it down. I'm very loyal, Jason.
Yeah, I'm loyal.
I'm very
real
loyal. I'm very loyal
Me
to a
too.
fault. Like I will stay there
Yeah.
till the wheels fall off.
Loyal to the
They could be
soil.
cheating on me and I'll still be like looking stupid. That's only when I fall in love. It's very rare that I
I'm
do
not that loyal. You're not gonna cheat on me and I'm looking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody play victim to that now.
Are you
Come
still
on.
in love with that guy from Atlanta?
Atlanta?
I'm gonna say,
Flying in?
you know what? I'm loyal, but I can honestly say that once I feel like something, I'm trying to save you.
I had to get it back for you. I had to have her back on that.
I have cheated, and I don't feel guilty for it. Honestly, it was a learning experience, and he was a man that I didn't need to be with.
Okay, why did you cheat?
I didn't like you no more. But I didn't know how to.
But did you
See, that's what I'm saying. When you're on the way out and you know it is, like me and my ex, we were about to split up. I had somebody I had met. I moved them in so we could all hang out and then moved the other one out.
What you mean so you could all hang out?
Well, we were all, we just had a lot
Were you doing
going on.
threesomes?
No.
Jason, see, because I'm not a threesome.
Yeah, no.
I'm not a threesome type of guy.
I am.
Because I have an addictive personality. If I do something, I'm going hard.
And that's the thing
but
about-
I can't do that.
So you can't do threesomes.
I've done
No.
one before, but that's not my thing.
I've done a
I'm
bunch of
monogamous-
threesomes before.
I know a
A
threesome.
bunch of
I know a
them.
threesome you did.
I've done a million.
Wow.
Well, not a
Really?
million.
Scorpio.
I like
You know what? They say Scorpios are ruled by the sex organ, so I can believe
I like
that.
to experiment, I guess you can say. But by telling men that you've had threesomes, they assume, oh, she's gonna give me a threesome, and it's like, no.
That ain't for everybody.
Wait,
No.
but
Yeah,
what's
it's
the
not for- you
longest
have to earn it.
relationship you had? What's the longest relationship you've been in?
7 months.
What?
Longest?
Okay, wait. I have a question since we're talking
You must
about
be
cheating,
21.
right? Threesome, is that technically cheating or no?
No.
No,
No,
because you both
that's not
agreed.
It's,
But
it's called keeping hope alive.
It's like a social mixer.
So
Yeah.
you said everybody doesn't get a threesome. What is
Yeah.
the difference between the men that get
I
and
think
the
in
men
the beginning you have to show that you're all for me and you really want to be with me and it's about me instead of like you're just with me because you feel like you can get a threesome, you know?
But then what happens when you get tired of that or you don't?
How do you get tired of having
That's
more
just
fun?
that's just being
7-month
greedy.
relationship.
No.
You've never had anything longer.
Yeah.
So
She's
you,
got choices.
You should
yeah.
know not other
Because I
other
just always
episodes.
thought like don't get so caught up in one person and like don't let them.
So would you consider yourself a thought?
No,
No.
I don't
I'm
consider
asking
myself
a
a thought.
question.
Just because my longest relationship has been 7 months doesn't mean I'm going around having sex with people because I
Okay.
do get to know people
that clarity.
and talk to them.
But what's wrong with you if you were going to? And there's nothing
You're
wrong.
saying go do it.
There's nothing wrong with being promiscuous unless you're safe. As long as you're
Okay,
safe.
we gotta go to commercial. I'm gonna get a little in their business while we at commercial because they schooling me. But when we come back, Miss Alicia is gonna tell us what's hot and what's not. So
That's
you said
not
you
hot.
have threesomes. Are these with men or women or what?
One guy and 2 girls.
Have you ever did 2 guys and 1 girl?
So you're trisexual. You'll try anything.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
Thank you for coming back. We are going to Miss Alicia Choice so she can give us hot or not.
Hey.
Hot or not? Black China carrying the Kardashians' last name, and the Kardashians not wanting Black China to carry the last name. Is that hot that she carry it, or is that a not?
That's hot.
That's a not for me.
I think it's hot.
I think it's a not. I mean, she's a brand, Black China. That's we don't know her as Angela Kardashian. She did enough.
Yeah.
She wins the Stunt Queen Award of 2006. She did
Yeah.
enough. Damn, you had a baby, you in the house, you got a car, he got a truck. Everybody got everything. Why you gotta have a name?
Because she's our only hope to having a black Kardashian. I mean,
Do we have a hope to have a Black Kardashian?
No, that's not my inspiration.
We have a Black
Let me tell you
Kardashian.
something.
We have a Black Kardashian.
Who?
Chloe. That's OJ's daughter.
Damn.
Now that's hot off the press.
No, I mean, but legally she can change her last name. When her and Rob is married, she will be, what is it, Angela
Angela Kardashian.
Kardashian.
I think she should hyphenate it.
But is
I
that
love
hot to be a token to be part of the Kardashian? Like the whole world wants to be to my Kardashian. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I think they
I
don't.
think she
Why
should
do you-
stay
why
as
you can't
Black
be the
China.
You know what? When I first moved to Hollywood, this lady asked me, "Do you want to be the next Nico?" I said, "No, I want to be the next Anthony Cherry."
Yeah.
What about your own name?
Right.
China, right? What do we know her for? You want to know how I know her? I know
She
her
came
from
up.
stripping.
Yeah, she came up.
Yeah,
know
Black
her
China,
from-
King of Diamonds.
Right. I know her from hanging out with some boys. You know what I'm saying? So
Honestly, I think she's a great businesswoman.
I
Yeah.
think
She
so
is.
too.
She's very
Hands
smart.
down.
She's
Very
smart.
strategic.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
very
she
strategic.
she is Queen Petty, but you have gotten it all. You got the baby,
Yeah.
you're gonna be good. But why do you have to be a Kardashian? You ain't gonna look at Tokyo Tony
vengeance.
like
Because
are you gonna look
I
at Tokyo Tony the way you look at Kris Jenner?
I agree.
It's vengeance. No.
No.
Black China's only going to go so far. She's going to plateau. Kardashian will take her where
And
she
that's why the
places.
Kardashian family needs to block that shit.
Don't block it. Let
I'm
her
sorry.
block
I'm sorry. I'm
Don't
They,
block
they,
it.
they can't block it because it's already in
They're
They're
blocking
trying
it
to
because,
block it.
Yeah.
because it's trademarked.
But they
No, but
won't-
I agree what you say about trying to be the next something because I get the, oh, you want to be the next Kim Kardashian. I don't want to be the next Kim Kardashian.
Right.
I want to be Elizabeth Ruiz.
Exactly. I wish I could high five you. Come get.
And can we just say, since your audience, all the men out there with their last name Kardashian on Instagram, please take that out your name.
I mean,
I get Dream Kardashian, Larry Kardashian,
I don't even know that men name themselves.
Yeah, I didn't know
because
that.
everybody wants to be a Kardashian.
Because everybody
Just
wants to
come
be a
from the
Kardashian.
mind control and being monkey see, monkey
So
do.
let me ask you this: do you think Black China earned the title to call herself
Yes.
Angela Kardashian?
Yeah, she did.
Yes,
Yeah, she got.
absolutely.
That's her
How?
man. She's with. That's her man.
She's with
First of all,
Rob.
Anybody else with me gonna say
Wait,
they
wait,
missed the
wait. First
cherry.
of all, just really quick. First of all, they played dirty when Kylie was sleeping with Tyga and had that girl
Exactly.
all up in their house, being her friend,
Exactly.
and broke up her family.
Your man is right over there. You are not gonna let some other woman, if you know she's a little slut, slide up in next to your man.
But your
But in
man
that- but
is
in
going to
that
make his
world-
own decisions.
We're gonna
No,
keep
but in
this
that
on
world,
the
cheat. No, and the threesome thing in
We
that
gotta
world,
go to
that's what
commercial.
happens. See?
And I'm just gonna let them run their mouth about Kardashian, who's a Kardashian, who's the. I don't want to be a Kardashian.
Don't let it
I
happen.
don't want to
My name is Anthony Cherry.
Don't let it happen, Chris. guard your money.
But shouts out to Black China and all the street smart girls that can get it.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
We are wrapping up our day, and my final thought about this show is I'm sorry, but I believe that single parenting is part of the problem with the pussification of America now. Miss Elizabeth.
Well, I believe that you should just forget about these men and focus on your goals and getting your money and relationships will come.
That's right, Mr. Cherry.
I just want to say I have a formal apology for all the women in the world. If you want to have abortions, do it. You're just paying into what the government doing is genocide. But I'm definitely sorry if I offended any woman, especially you, my co-host.
Alicia, please cut him off. What's your thought?
My final thought is you cannot tell a woman what to do with her body. And it's a woman's choice. It's no one else's choice, no one else's decisions. And I hope from your apology, other people will take heed.
And I'm very sincere about that.
Well, thank you, Jason, for being with us today.
Of course, I have fun.
What's your thought?
My final thought is that somebody in America should start a strippers union and help these girls find the right pathway to enhancing their income and not bite off the growth of other people's success. You know, so that's no slight to anybody. But congratulations, Black China, on your baby. Dream is beautiful, and I had a great time.
Thank you for being here. Check us out on our social media handles. We always keep the conversation hot. So who wants to pop another bottle with me?
I do.
I got it.
Yeah.